Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Chesh and today I wanted to talk to you about Sophie and Toffee. More specifically, a mold from them. For those of you who don't know them, Sophie and Toffee are a Singapore-based arts and crafts online store that sells mostly resin accessories, and monthly boxes. Today, however, I wanted to talk about a specific mold they sell called the Gamer Dice Box Holder Silicone Mold. It's such a long name. Let me just read the description that they have on their website of this box. Gamer Polyhedral Dice Box Holder Silicone Mold is a S&T original design mold and made of food-grade materials. Our exclusive molds can be used in a vacuum to remove bubbles. It is made with clear platinum silicone material which is highly durable. You will need a 5mm width magnet for the lid holes to hold the lid and the case together. You can use either epoxy or UV resin with these molds. So after waiting and finally getting my mold, which I will tell you about my shipping experience later, I was eager to try it. So after I inspected it, I was really happy to find it was in perfect condition, albeit a little tacky, but I find that's pretty common for new silicone molds. I find if you just use it once or twice, that it gets rid of that tackiness. Now note that this is just a tiny bit sticky, like if you put your finger on there, it'll kind of stick, but it's not goopy. If it's goopy, then no, you can't use it. It's a major problem with silicone. But my initial thoughts was that this is a hefty mold. We're talking paperweight heavy, which bodes well for their claim of it being tough, as I found sturdy silicone like dragon skin to be heavy and thick. Now, just because of the honeycomb-esque design, if you're using thicker resin, you'll probably want to take it a little extra slow. Just to get in all those nooks and crannies. That's the only hard part that I found. But I didn't use mold release, but it did come out fairly easy. I did leave it for the max amount of my resin set time, which was 3 days. Because even though I filled this mold to the brim, I found the bottom of it to be kind of thin. And I was afraid that if I took it out of the mold before it was fully set, it would break or warp. But I got it out okay, and it looks fine. I already knew about the ridges, so it didn't come to a surprise to me. But it was a lot more prevalent and deep than I thought it would be. If you wanted to sand this out and polish it, it will take a lot of work. Personally, I don't mind the ridges and the design. I think it adds something to it, but I'll talk more about that a little bit later. But here in this pic you can see kind of the ridges, but it's hard to get it to show well on camera. But the mold actually came out pretty well. I was pretty happy with this box. I actually really like the design of this box. It's honeycomb-esque little chambers here that give each little dice a snug little room is really cute in my opinion. And I like the design. And the fact that it has spaces for magnets to make the lid latch on is really helpful. It just makes it more secure if you're taking it with you somewhere. Now, they have stated it's food safe, but I honestly have not tried it. If you use it for resin, no matter if it was originally food safe silicone, it will no longer be usable for edible uses. But I'm not entirely sure why you would want to make something edible from this mold. It's kind of a weird shape to do that with. And I don't think chocolate would be able to be cast in this just because you wouldn't be able to demold it without cracking it. So the only thing I could think of is sugar casting. But again, I honestly don't know why you would want to do that, but it is an option if you were thinking about it. And it is clear, so you can use UV resin with it, although I would not recommend UV resin because it's a pretty deep mold and uses a lot of resin, and UV resin is just more expensive than regular resin per ounce. Not only that, but UV resin I find tends not to be as durable, so it's not very good for uses in boxes and things that are going to be used a lot. But again, it is an option, and if you want to do it, you can. Now on the description it says vacuum safe, which I found a little weird because, as far as I know, you don't put finished molds in a vacuum chamber, it messes them up. You put like a cup of resin or a cup of silicone and it brings the bubbles out of it, and then you pour it. You don't put a finished mold in there. So I emailed them asking if it was pressure pot safe, and they did actually answer back saying it was. So I wonder if they didn't mean pressure pot instead of vacuum safe. Now, I haven't been able to test this in a pressure pot because I'm still setting mine up. But now let's look at how expensive this mold really is. Now, keep in mind when I'm talking money, I'm talking in US currency, and all shipping prices are to have it shipped to America. So the mold itself is up for pre-order for their improved mold for $33.27. Now, this is kind of expensive for a box mold, but it could be argued that this mold is more complex in design to most dice boxes, and it does state that it is food grade materials. I'm just assuming that means the silicone is food grade, if you don't use resin in it, obviously. So that probably plays a part in the price for it. Not only that, but it is pretty hefty silicone mold. Now, when looking at the price of something online, there are more factors than the base cost. For instance, this mold needs small magnets that does not come included, so you will have to buy some separate. I did find these relatively cheap though, like 100 of them for $5, and it uses 6 in total. Then there is the shipping. Shipping is usually either the second biggest price and even sometimes is more expensive than the product. That being said, they are shipping from Singapore. The cheapest price listed is a little over $14, and they say it takes 8 to 11 business days, and we will come back to this a little later. So all in all, Chesh interrupting Chesh here. So when I originally wrote the script and did the voiceover for this, it was indeed 8 to 11 working days on their $14 shipping. But then I remembered that I needed to get a screenshot for the video, and I just noticed while editing that it changed to 16 to 22 working days instead of the 8 to 11. So I'm not insane, it just was recently changed. So all in all, the mold can cost you upwards of $50 or higher. That's a really expensive mold considering how big it is at 9 by 2.5 centimeters. There are two glaring problems that isn't just contributed to this mold, but the company as a whole. As I stated earlier, molds often come with problems, which happens with big batches. But what makes it infuriating is Sophie and Toffee's responses to them. A lot of times they've just ignored customer complaints and refused to replace or even refund damaged or missing goods. Here I'm going to tell you my experience with them buying this mold. I bought this mold way before the pandemic, so it has no effect on the terrible shipping situation I was in. I did get standard shipping, which claims to be 8 to 11 business days. Before I ordered the mold, I emailed them asking about the pressure pot situation and got their answer within a few days. I was pretty impressed with the response time, and it gave me some hope despite what a few people had told me about their shipping. This hope was short-lived. After 2 months of purchasing it, I never heard a thing about it. I emailed them and never got an answer. Waited 3 months and emailed again. No answer. At this point, I did have a lot of things going on in my life, so I kind of forgot about it. And after 6 months, it finally showed up, surprising me. I had never received another email from them. They had never said anything, and I could never get a hold of them. It was just by pure luck and chance that this package actually showed up, like 5 months late, almost. Them not responding to problems is actually a very common occurrence I've found. I talked to someone else who was having problems with her molds and getting her emails through. It wasn't until she made a dispute with her bank that Sophie and Toffee sent her an email back. Granted, if it was just 1 or 2 people having problems, I would not mention this, but let's take a look at some more reviews. So, I would like to say that most of these reviews have to do with their shipping, not so much their products. So let's just get into it. Molly, who has a 1-star review, says, "What could have been a great company if it cared about its customers? I've been dying to try this subscription service for the longest time, and the Disney box absolutely sold me on trying them out. I mean, if Disney partnered with them, they have to be a professional company and have guaranteed quality, right? I ordered my first box in March. I understood they were having problems in regards to the pandemic and was willing to wait a while longer. But 3 months and over $100 later, I have yet to receive anything. My package from March was marked as shipped, so it should not take 3 months to arrive even during this time of crisis. I've ordered things from Japan and China and they all arrived in the usual time." So at that point, I canceled my regular subscription, monthly, and decided to stick to the Disney box, quarterly box, until something changed. However, after canceling the monthly box, and a few days later I went back on the site and found that the Disney box was replaced with the monthly box. I had made sure to cancel the monthly one and had triple checked before canceling. I never received a notification to the change, but I saw that it was gone from my invoices and that the Disney box was still there before it changed a few days later. This is a sketchy company, and if you take the chance doing business with them, you should screenshot and document everything you change, because I doubt I'll be seeing a dime of my money back. And shame on the YouTubers that promote this business. Hilly, with a 1-star review, writes, "Bad customer service. I purchased 200 grams of their clear silicone mold maker, and it was short 35 grams. I took a picture and the bottles are not open. It is still sitting in its shipping box. They have a policy where issues like this gets addressed within 5 days. I contacted them by email on the day I got it. It has been 4 days and still no response. I have sent them 2 more emails regarding this. I am not even sure I will get a response at this point, and when the 5th day arrives, which will be tomorrow, I don't think this will be resolved. So buyers beware. I do not plan to buy from them again." Chris Alyssa writes with a 1-star review, "So I ordered the Disney box in September. Okay, yes, I understand COVID has things slow, but not this slow. The stupid thing only says order processed. It's been saying that for almost a month. I have no clue how to contact customer service because there's nothing on the website. Okay, company, you're quick to take my money, but not quick to get my order shipped. And shame on you for not plainly listing a way for your customers to contact you. Not to mention, when I ordered the box, it says like $8 shipping. Then at checkout, they tacked on $20 shipping, not 8. Once the box comes, if it ever does, I may rewrite my review. But these products better be 150% legit for this crap to be taking so long to even ship. Moral to this story, don't believe all the YouTubers that you see promoting this subscription box." I would like to mention that the site itself has no reviews on most of their products, which is really suspicious as most of the molds, especially this one, is really popular in dice groups and dice communities. And so I find it a little weird that I had to dive into other review websites just to see some reviews instead of seeing any on the products themselves. But after hearing all of this, I decided to take a closer look at their shipping and return policies. Package marked as delivered. It is common to have your tracking status marked as delivered before the package actually shows up. Please give it a few working days. Packages are marked as delivered by your Package marked as delivered. It is common to have your tracking status marked as delivered before the package actually shows up. Please give it a few working days. Packages which are marked as delivered by your country's postal services are deemed as final delivery. We will not be able to compensate any packages which are marked as delivered. The postal services have advised to check the following. Check with your neighbors. Under/inside a carport. Inside a sheltered front veranda or porch. Behind sheltered fixed/solid structures, i.e. plant pots, behind fly screen doors, inside a metal/fuse box, if a business with reception, mailroom, or other staff, etc. Package lost in transit. All of our orders are shipped with a full tracking service. The possibility of a lost package is hence low. However, in event of packages not delivered after 60 days from ship date, you can contact us to log an investigation with the Postal Services. If your package is confirmed lost by the Postal Services, a store credit or resend can be made. Damaged and defective items. Please snap a photo of the damaged items and send it together with your order number to support@sophieandtoffee.com within 14 days of receipt. We can only act upon items which are either damaged during transit or a part of a manufacturing defect. Strictly no refunds or replaces after 14 days of receipt. Damaged items can only be refunded as store credits. Sophie and Toffee reserve the rights to determine whether a product is classified as defective. The decision is final. Returned packages. Some countries will require a signature to accept the package. If no one is at home to accept the package, the mailman should deposit a failed delivery note at your doorstep or mailbox. Please follow the instructions on the note to collect or arrange redelivery. If your order is returned to us due to a banned/restricted products policy, a wrong address, refusal to pay custom fees, refusal to accept the order, or because no one was there to accept delivery of your order, you will be refunded as follows. You will be refunded as store credits and the total amount of the order minus the shipping. If you would like us to resend your order, you will need to pay for the postage fees again. If the cost to return the product to us is larger than the cost of the refund due, we will instruct a carrier to abandon the order and there will be no credit for the order. If the product is seized by customs, there will be no credit processed for this product. Cancellation of orders. All orders are expedited once it is placed through our website, hence cancellation or amendments of orders are not allowed. Refunds and replacements. To be eligible for a replacement or refund, you need to write in within 14 days of receipt with photo proofs of defective or damaged goods. We cannot be liable for any mishandling of the products and usage. Sell items cannot be refunded. In exceptional cases where returns are granted, the buyers need to be responsible for the return shipping fees to Singapore. One thing you will notice is that they will only issue store credit, not an actual refund on almost everything, which I find super shady for any company to do. Now, a lot of people defend S&T, claiming that this happens because they are a small business and you need to be patient and have some leniency with them. However, that is not an excuse for the lack of customer service or their inconsistent shipping. Every small business knows that trust and communication between the shop and customer is the lifeblood of any business. You have to listen to problems and try and fix them rather than brush them off or completely ignore them. To not offer your money back, no matter the issue, and instead pretty much hold your money hostage, saying you have to spend it with us no matter what, makes me not want to trust them. And a lot of their policies is basically saying they're not responsible once your package is delivered, if it even leaves for delivery. So if you don't get your products, the best they can do is offer a replacement, and you have to pay for shipping. And they will not give a refund or give store credit for the expensive shipping you paid for in the first place. This is honestly a tough one. While I do adore this box, and I think Sophie and Toffee have some good ideas, I just feel for the price they could have at least finished the sides of their master before making a mold of it. Because they didn't, it takes a lot of extra steps if you want a smooth finish, which is normal for dice boxes to have a smooth finish. I really don't like how they seem to ignore and brush off customers either who are having serious problems. Sure, they say they are coming out with an improved mold, but what about all those people who couldn't get faulty or ripped molds replaced or refunded for the old version, and can't seem to get the company's attention? Not only that, but most people seem to not get shippings in the first place. So what's the use of improving products if you can't get them to your customers consistently? When it comes down to it, I personally don't want to drop huge amounts of money on the hope I get lucky, and I can't get that money back. It feels like gambling to me, and I don't like that. If I'm going to spend that much, I would rather buy a custom master box from an actual shop and make my own mold. At the end of the day, it's up to you, and if you're willing to take a risk. I feel like they pour way too much money into getting people to review it on YouTube and things like that, instead of really taking a hard look at their shipping line and streamlining it and figuring out where these problems are at and fixing the company. A lot of people have good things to say about the molds, and it does produce great molds when you get a good mold. The shipping problems they have seem to center mostly on this particular mold, their dice molds, and their boxes for some reason. Another problem that I have is some people fervently defend them and harass people who speak about faulty products. This just isn't normal and is toxic behavior. It can get so bad that sometimes posts made to groups get muted or taken down. I can understand a healthy debate. As I said before, some people like me actually got really good molds, but you can't just ignore the problems and bully people into saying S&T is a great company when it obviously is having mass problems. I've tried to keep a biased opinion all while doing research and tried to present the good with the bad. Please respect one another, expressing experiences and opinions, because at the end of the day, we're all dice goblins just trying to help one another out. That being said, this is where I'll end the video, guys. What has your experience been with Sophie and Toffee? Please leave a comment, and if you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe. Also, please check out my free comic that I just brought out. Thank you so much, and I appreciate all you goblins, and hope to see you next time.